Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about basically everything about working in Spain, minimum wage, vacation, everything about just the labor force. All right. I know the background is white. It's because it's hot, I feel lazy, and I didn't want to clean up my room. So I said, I'm just gonna do a video in the other room. But I promise the next video I'll have the nice background or whatever. Anyway, let's get started. Alright guys, so if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so that way you can learn everything about Spain should you decide to move here or visit, or if you're just curious. Alright, before I actually get into the video, I want to say that at the time of making this video, €1 equals $1 and 19 cents as of making this video, but it like fluctuates. So I'm going to be talking in euros, all right? So the first thing I want to address are the work hours. So Spain has the longest work hours for full-time jobs than the rest of Europe. So you know how in the US the normal work hours is 40 hours a week? Well, in Spain the average is 38.4 hours, but again, this is general. So you may have people that work more, you may have people that work less, but this is the general expected amount of hours that you would be working. When I was a teacher, I was working between 25 to 30 hours a week. So yeah, it depends. The rest of Europe, I believe, generally they work between 30 to 36 hours, something like that. So yeah, I do know some people that work 40 hours, some people that work less, but you get what I mean. The average is 38.4. Another thing that's different, in the US, we have full-time, part-time, contract, seasonal work, things like that. In Spain, they only have contracts. So for example, your contract may be for 1 year or a few months, or it could be seasonal, but it depends on the type of work that you're doing. Once your contract is up, they may or may not renew it. Generally, they will renew it, but if you've been like a horrible employee, probably not. I also want to add that finding work in Spain right now is a bit difficult depending on your profession. I mean, in general, it's difficult, but really depending on your profession, because many years ago, there was a financial crisis in Spain, and Spain never fully recovered. After that, it got worse with the coronavirus. So for example, before the coronavirus, if you worked in tourism, you could find a job anywhere because tourists love Spain, am I right? You wouldn't have a problem. I had a friend, he was working in hotels, never had an issue. He speaks 5 languages, never had a problem. But after coronavirus, the hotels started closing, the restaurants started closing, everyone was losing their jobs. It was horrible. But he now has a job. He's working in a restaurant. But it's crazy because he said it was a lot more difficult, and when he was working in the hotel, he was using all of his languages because he likes to speak, different languages. And in the restaurant, he only speaks English because it's in an English-speaking area. So, professions like English teacher, for example, you would never have a problem finding work as an English teacher. I'm sorry. It's because out of Europe, Spain is one of the very few countries where people don't speak English, and now they're realizing how important English is. And there are a lot of people that need English for their jobs. They may have an international job, or they may want to work, in tourism or any sort of place where they have to interact with foreigners. They need English. So English is very important. But we could talk about other jobs. You know, if you were a doctor, that would be needed, you know, a scientist or something like that. But some people with really good professions have had difficulty finding work, like computer technicians or developers or things like that. But now that we are coming out of, you know, lockdown and things like that, more jobs are starting to become available. I'm very happy for my friends because they were like, oh my God, what am I going to do? That actually brings me to my next point, unemployment. So in Spain, depending on how long you've worked for a particular company, the maximum unemployment benefits would be 2 years. So you receive money up to 2 years. If you've been working for a company for like 2 years, if you've only been working for like 4 or 5 months or something like that, then you're gonna get a lot less. But yeah, up to 2 years while you look for work. Vacations. Okay, so now again, there are always exceptions, but I'm just gonna talk about, you know, in general. Generally, you have in Spain 1 month of vacation. Usually people take it in August. Usually August is not the best time to find or search for any sort of work because Spain literally just shuts down. Everybody wants to go on vacation. Here, they really try to maintain a work-life balance. So, of course, some people take 2 weeks vacation, some people may take one, but generally it's 1 month. Since we're talking about vacation, I also want to say that Spain has a lot of holidays. If you live in the Canary Islands, it's even more holidays. They have Canary Day, they have like all sorts of things. So that's something that you would have to get used to. Now, if you have, you know, normal work, you know, you'll still be getting, you know, your paycheck, things like that. But there were times where I said, oh my God, are people working? Because we just had a holiday last week and now we're having another holiday. Like, I'm not used to this. The last thing I want to address is minimum wage. Okay, so as of right now, the minimum wage is roughly 900 euros a month. So you might be thinking like, who can survive off 900 euros? And this is a good concern. It really depends on where you are in Spain because, for example, if you're in Barcelona or Madrid, you can forget it. 900 euros is not going to cut it. But if you live like in Galicia or any other place, I mean, even here, you can survive off 900. I know one friend, she works in the mall and she makes, when I first met her, she was making 800 and this was like 2 years ago. And that's what the minimum wage used to be, like 700 and something. And then it went up to 900. So I think she's making 900, but she's doing good. So it really depends on where you are. My friend that I mentioned earlier, who's working in the restaurant, he makes 900 euros also. And as far as, you know, night shifts, day shifts or whatever, that's exactly the same as we have in the US. Depending on your job, you may work in the day, you may work at night. If you have a job where you have to work all day and all night, like 1 day a week, here they call it guardia. And like, you know, my partner's in the military, so sometimes he has to work guardia one whole day and then he'll come back the next day. Or if you work at like a medical field, like a nurse or something, sometimes you may have it. But if you hear that word, guardia, that's what they're talking about. All right, so that's actually all I can think of when it comes to the work market here. If I missed anything or if you have anything to add, please let me know in the comments. You know, I love learning. I love gaining more information. If I made any errors, please feel free to correct me. Yeah. All right. With that being said, I hope you all have a really, really good day and I will see you in my next video. Hasta luego. Ciao.